Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage. So it has been a few days since the last time we worked in the garage when we were actually working on the 24 valve and the camera's fogging all up. Yeah, going from nice air conditioning to this steamy, hot, muggy weather. The camera started fogging up. So anyway, we were working on our 24 valve last time. We got our fuel injectors in from Flux Diesel Injection, and it's kind of been quiet here on the channel since. The reason for that is we need parts. That being said, we have quite a multitude of parts. That one does not go on the 24 valve. So anyway, we have parts, but none of which we can put on right now because we're waiting on some other parts. So we kind of have a whole bunch of stuff waiting in the wings that we had ordered, like, hey, we need this, we need this. And then as we're diving in deeper, we're finding, hey, we need some other stuff. So tonight, we're not going to be working on the 24 valve, and actually all these parts for the 24 valve will probably be in and out because we're going to switch our focus over to the race truck. I know you guys, oh, we're fogging up again. So I know you guys were kind of, a few guys were asking like, hey, did you give up on the race truck? What's going on with that? The truth was I did lose a lot of motivation towards the race truck because of the whole COVID thing. All the tracks were closed down, yada, yada, yada. Also, I did find myself getting burnt out on the race truck. That's part of the reason we got the 24 valve. But that being said, it is time to start focusing on this thing as tracks are starting to open up. You're starting to be able to go to Cecil County Dragway and go to Test and Tune, so we need to get this thing dialed in. Majority of the stuff we have to do is minuscule. We really have most of this thing ironed out. I do need to try and figure out if or how I can get the cage certified. Also, you guys know we've had some trouble with the engine not running correctly. Ran fine at Freedom when it was on the dyno, got it back here to Pennsylvania, put it in the truck, couldn't get it to run right. So we've been doing a lot of remote options with that over the last couple months, and we have not made any headway. So really it kind of came down to the decision of we need the personal touch. We need to get somebody up here to help work on the truck, because it could be something really stupid, really small that we're overlooking, who knows. But we definitely need a hands-on approach. So hopefully that's going to happen. We have tentative dates set up, but with schedules and all that kind of stuff, who knows? So hopefully we get that done in the next couple of weeks. But basically, I want the truck to be ready to go when that happens. Like, we get that done, then we head to the track. That being said, one problem, we do still have to weigh the truck so we can get rid of our solid suspension down there, if you will. So we need to get corner scales and weigh the truck, which should be as easy as trailering the race truck down to a local shop that has some. So we need to get that taken care of. That's kind of the big major job that needs to be done to this truck before we get, that and getting the engine sorted out, and we're pretty much track ready. So that being said, there are a couple things we need to do, and those are inside the cab here. So we also have, they're actually in the boxes. They're not in the cab. The cab's what we're going to be fixing. So first off, we have from Firepunk our Anteater. So I didn't mention anything about this to you guys before because I just wanted to see what was going on. All that. We're having a problem with the Anteater when I hooked my tablet up to it. Really, it was going like 0, 14, 28, 30 mile an hour, back down. It was going all over the place, shifting from 1, 2. So that's, what the heck? So we sent it into the guys at Firepunk, and they actually upgraded our harness. So our harness and the firmware on the actual controller here. So what they said, the problem I was having is actually something that their early harnesses would show. So we got a new harness. They warranted it for us because we have this Anteater has been around for a while. So I had this originally in Caitlin when I had 48 swapped her. And I want to say it's one of the original 40 that they had. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, and I probably can't even find a picture, but the Anteater controller actually used to be like a gauge pod setup. So you could just have it on like a pillar pod in your truck for a controller. Like I said, I doubt I can even find a picture of it, but they also upgraded our controller to their newest controller, which has a lot more pronounced buttons. than our previous, and it has these pins down here hidden underneath. So this is not the Pro, this is just the standard because we don't need the Pro for our application, but just showing you those guys will warranty stuff, you know, if there is a problem. Like I said, we didn't have a problem for years, and then all of a sudden we did, and they upgraded us a little bit, but they're constantly trying to make the Anteater a better project. So we got to get that installed, which means getting our whole electrical panel back in there. Kind of had to rip the whole thing down to gain access. But the other thing is why these pig pads are here right there. So we have a problem with our brake booster leaking, or our hydro boost. So we picked up a reman hydro boost. There's the part number and all. Just got this at the local Advanced Auto, which they had to get it in. Not many of them had it, and I can't get it out. Yeah, so there's our new hydro boost. So our hydro boost, and I gotta tilt the front end to show you. All right, so our hydro boost is right here behind our master cylinder. So basically the hydro boost, for those of you who don't know, is taking the place of a vacuum brake booster for the brake system. So in a gas truck, you have one that runs off a vacuum for brake assist. This runs off the hydraulics of the power steering pump. So we got that that we have to replace. It should be pretty easy. We're gonna have to undo our power steering lines. We shouldn't have to bleed the brakes or anything like that. We should be able to just pull that off. So we got to replace that, put our Anteater back in, and we are good to go. So let's stop talking. I know we've been talking for a little bit now, but let's get our hydro boost installed and our Anteater, and see what else we can do on the race truck this evening. And we have everything transferred over. I'm going over this just because I was really expecting to just kind of pull it out and plop it in. But anyhow, they are a little bit different. So as you can see, I'm sure this thing ranges in model years for quite a while. I don't know. It's an $85 core charge for this piece right here. So first things first, had to swap over the pin. So right here is the pin, if you guys can see in there. Let me grab a flashlight. So there is a little spider, if you guys see in there. You kind of got to cock that thing and get it out because there is a step in this like area. I guess that there's kind of a that's what it is. I mean, there's a step in there, and those little fingers go behind it. So you kind of had to pry it out of the old one, and just kind of hope you didn't screw it up. So I got that out, and then behind that there was a spring, and then the shaft and all that, and that's what will actually relay the force to the master cylinder. So then onto the top of it, we had to change our bolt pattern, or our bolts, or our studs. We had to change our studs over to the new one. Not too big a deal, other than it's a pretty hefty size nut. I didn't have any kind of a socket even that would fit it. Not that the socket would do much good with this all sticking out. So just use a punch and come around the sides with it in the vise, and it came right off. Other than that, I guess that's about. Oh, there is a snap ring too on the end of that nut. So we'll get to throwing this thing in there and move on to our anteater. Really, the stuff on the truck's pretty simple. You got a hose, and then you got your 2 fittings. They're pretty self-explanatory. Actually, I think they're even different thread sizes, so you can't even mess it up. But yeah, we'll get this thing installed and move on. Alright, so we got our anteater all installed. Everything's good. Our little brain or control panel is back in place. Really, this has gotten way out of control. Not this year, but maybe this winter. We're going to have to go through that. And just the whole truck, as far as wires go, it's gotten definitely a little bit more of a mess than what I was originally hoping. But, I mean, I guess it's just kind of the name of the game. So, we got the anteater all installed. The only thing we have to do yet is to run our controller and our cable for that. I'll probably just mount it here on our shifter or something. But if we turn the power to the truck on, which this is something else I need to mount up. Okay, so our controller is still off. We turn our ignition on, and we have our Anteater SCT. This new controller that came with this thing, definitely it feels a lot better than the old one. The buttons are much easier to push. Definitely nice that they are continuing to improve their product. But anyhow, so then we got our Anteater Pro Dash, went through and put this on here, basically just plug the USB drive in and install it, connect. So now before it was going like 0, 14, 28, 30, and then back down, and you'd see 1, 2 shift all this. But right now we're sitting nice and docile with TPS and 0 speed. And if we hit our throttle, well, we're not connected. All right. There we go. Now we got TPS. And actually, as I do that, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it. The solenoid for our Turbo Smart blow-off valve is actually operating as well. So that's looking good. I was actually planning on taking the truck out tonight. Not taking it out, but I was going to pull it out into the driveway. Since we have our transmission controller figured out, yes, the truck is running a little rough, but there's no reason we can't idle it out into the driveway. Basically, I wanted to get this all done and get our hydro boost done, because what I'd like to do is get the truck outside, even though it's running rough, kind of go through. We got to make sure we got enough transmission fluid in the thing. Honestly, I just kind of have a guesstimate on the transmission fluid. We may have to add or remove some. Also, we need to get our power steering fluid all situated, being it as we have our new hydro boost. We have, did some different stuff with our power steering stuff. We have a new power steering reservoir and all that, so we need to get all the air out of that. But in order to take the truck out, I need to take the front clip off because we have no hood stack hole yet. Something else we have to do. But it has started to storm. It's actually been going on for a little while now. When I was under the truck running the cables for the Anteater, it was quite the thunderous bang. There was definitely some lightning pretty close, so I don't feel like getting into taking that front clip off tonight, but look forward to that the next time it's nice out. Hopefully we can get the truck just pulled out of the garage and kind of go through a couple of things. And yeah, so I'm excited about that. Really, the truck, we just need to get it running right, and then we're kind of ready to go. There is other stuff we're going to do, which you can see right there, but that is not a necessity quite yet. This thing's going to definitely take some time, but we do have to mount our power shutoff switch like right here. We got to do that. got to do a couple other miscellaneous things, but yeah, I mean, the big stuff is kind of coming to a close. But I do have a list. I keep checking everything off as we go, and it's getting down to, I want to say, dumber and dumber stuff. So I think the next thing we should work on the drag truck is probably the hood stack, which I still don't know what I want to do there. So anyway, guys, I'm rambling. I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrenching on your truck.
Ten 1 9.